you still feel stuck in patterns and habits. We are wrapping up a 9-year cycle of lots of old programming and patterns that we have experienced, a lot of us, for most of our lives. And that's because we were meant to experience all of these things to learn certain lessons. One of the lessons, probably the biggest lesson that we're meant to learn from all of these repeating patterns and habits and programming that we've been experiencing, is to let go of the number one thing that keeps us repeating old patterns and habits and feeling like we can't heal. And that one thing is shame. It's not addiction. It's not programming in terms of a loop that your brain can't get out of. The source of all things addictive and repeating is the emotion of shame. So our job has been to learn how to experience the things that we're experiencing without shaming ourselves for them or allowing anyone else to shame us for them. So take somebody who is using drugs or alcohol and they feel like they can't stop. One of the complications, one of the reasons why they feel like they can't stop is because they have not resolved the shame that they feel around their patterns and habits. It's the same thing with eating disorders, overeating, or even not eating enough. There is a shame spiral that comes from doing these things that are diagnosed or judged by other people. Maybe you've even noticed that the things that we shame other people for the most, they can't seem to stop doing it either. This is one of the biggest energetic blocks on this planet, is the fact that we shame each other for thinking a certain way, feeling a certain way, believing a certain way. And it's that shame that holds us all in holding pattern that keeps us right where we are and right where we've always been. So, knowing that the only thing holding you in whatever it is you're trying to heal, the first thing that you need to do is first acknowledge that you're shaming yourself, that you feel ashamed of your overeating, your use of alcohol or drugs, your tendency to flip out when you're angry. Acknowledge that that is a shameful thing for you. And it's likely that somebody taught you that shame. Someone shamed you for your behavior, for using what you're using, for doing what you're doing, for thinking what you're thinking, or believing what you're believing. Somebody at some point made you feel ashamed. So once that you've acknowledged that you're feeling shame around the issue, then it just becomes a matter of reassuring yourself that there's nothing to be ashamed of. And that is a daily practice of catching yourself having shaming thoughts or feelings or beliefs and saying, this shame doesn't belong to me. This shame is not mine. It's important to break that habit of thinking that you need to be ashamed of what you're doing or thinking or feeling, and that you need to fix it. Shaming yourself does not hold you accountable for your actions. It doesn't make it more likely that you're going to change your behavior. It makes it worse. It pushes the pattern even deeper. It pushes the emotion even deeper. And it pushes it to the point where you end up avoiding, doing everything you can to avoid experiencing the shame. So you end up repeating the pattern again. So sit with yourself today and make a list. Just sit in quiet for maybe 5 minutes. And make a list of all of the shaming thoughts that you have about yourself. Try to notice it throughout the day, but sit for a couple minutes today and write down all of the thoughts that you're having that could be considered you judging or shaming yourself. You might be surprised at how many there are. Most of us are carrying a lot of shame, not just for the things that we do, but for who we are. You are not your shame. Shame is not about you. It's not yours. And the minute you acknowledge it and set yourself free from it, is when your whole life starts to shift in a better direction. You start to feel lighter, you start to feel clearer, and it eventually sets you free. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.